All right, Shalom. For the foremost, we give our praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakadash, the honesty apostle, and the elders of Great Millstone, and to the Hakim across the globe, pushing the word of truth and sincerity, want to say Shalom. Jeremiah 2 and 20. For of old time I have broken thy yoke, and burst thy bands. Thou saidest, I will not transgress, when upon every high hill and under every green tree, thou wanderest plain the harlot. There was a time when Israel would go off, following the ways of the heathen, transgressing the laws of Yahweh, and he would bring invaders, oppressors, these heathen nations, the Babylonians, the Syrians, and they would come and put us under in captivity, and they would cry. They said they cried by the reason they were oppressors, and the Lord will open unto our pride, will open up unto our cries, and we promised that we would go right, turn away from our ways, and come back to the Lord. Judges was a good example when we would cry out and he would send us a Savior, Joshua and others to make atonement for us. When the righteous leaders would die, Israel would turn again into the wickedness, man, going from God to God, drinking waters from other cisterns, following the doctrine and philosophies and the ways that are heathen on each and every captivity that they're doing now. So yet I planted thee a noble vine, holy a right seed. How then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? NLT said, but I was the one who planted you, choosing a vine of the pure stock, the very best. How did you grow into this corrupt, wild vine? If you go into the Apocrypha, it talks about how he made our ways diverse. It said some he had unto himself. That's Israel, man. We were made to be righteous. We were made to be separate. We were made to be above the nations, man. All right? But now you look at the lower state, what's going on with degenerates? Deteriorated, right? We withered. What's going on with degenerates? Not that. Where you would deteriorate, to break down, refers to something that has declined in quality, structure, or function from a former higher state to a lower, worse, or immoral state. All right, so our people are falling from a high state. All right, we said we were to be above all the nations. Okay, let's get that. See, fire. Deuteronomy 14:2. So, for thou art a holy people unto the Lord Yahweh thy power. The Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself, above all the nations that are upon the earth. So the Lord made us above all the nations, man. All right, but our wickedness, our deterioration, our immoral our moral ineptitude is not being upholden by our people, man. Okay, you're seeing these wild bulls, you're seeing these harlots, these moles. Okay, 'cause the kingdom said all Israel is going to be righteous, but now we're being laughed at. We're being the mocking stock. We're being uh, um, uh, the uh, the face of oppression, man. The face of ridicule. All right, and the Lord looks down upon us and doesn't know who we are. You know, like a degenerate plant of a strange vine, right? A degenerate, a broken down plant that don't belong to the Lord, man. All right. For though thou wash thee with nitrate and take thee much soap, yet thy iniquity is marked before me, saith the Lord. You know, and you can, go to church every Sunday. You can put on your Sunday hats and your three-piece suits. You can um, feed the poor. All right. You can justify yourself. You can establish your own righteousness. You see, but yet you're still dirty. You can baptize yourself uh, with that water in church and still be as dirty as when you dunk in, man. There's not going to be, the only way that we're going to be cleansed is through your Yahweh Shemini Shai, through the washing of the word. And you guys, two-thirds of our people are unclean, no matter no amount of brokenness that they think they might have. How could y'all say, I am not polluted? I have not gone up to Baalim. See thy way in the valley, know what thou hast done. Thou art a swift dromedary traversing her ways. And LT says, you say it is not true. I haven't worshipped the images of Baal. How can you say that? Go and look in any valley in the land. Face the awful sins you have done. You are like a restless female camel desperately searching for a mate. Scriptures talk about how as many cities there are idols in Judah. All right, the whole head is sick. We have our tribes. The northern tribes going after the Virgin Mary, this Santa Maria's, and you got Levi going into this witchcraft. You see, got Jake following Caesar Borgia. Okay, so how could you say that you're guiltless or blameless when you have not chosen the true power, the how about me outside, but going after the ways of these heathens, man? It says, a wild ass used to the wilderness that snuffles up the wind at her pleasure, and her occasion who can turn her away. All they that seek her will not weary themselves. In a month they shall find her, man. Right, man. You got her in heat, going from oak to oak, from tree to tree, from doctrine to doctrine, from nation to nation. But yet, you are not returning to the Lord. So you are like a wild donkey sniffing the wind at mating time. Who can restrain her lust? Those who desire her don't need to search, for she goes running to them, right, man? All right, the way this place is set up, the way Esau's system is set up, through the entertainment, through the distractions, through the internet, through the churches, through the music, through the movies, through all these pride of life. Okay, we don't have to. They don't have to come and get you. You run to the folly. You run to the shucking and jiving. You run to the violence. You run to be the number one baddie or the top YN. Esau doesn't have to do anything but put it out there, and he's gonna watch you come running, casting away your morals, casting away your integrity, just for a couple of shekels, selling your soul for a couple of likes and a couple of views. You see? Let's get this real quick. Um, yep, here we go. This is it. Jeremiah 4:30 said, when thou art spoiled, if we are spoiled, all right, when we was turned into a degenerate plant, that became our spoiling, our deterioration. All right, the moral fabric that has been established in Israel, it is torn, it's rent. And when thou art spoiled, what wilt thou do? Though thou clothest thyself with crimson, though thou deckest thee with ornaments of gold, though thou wrenchest thy face with painting, in vain shalt thou make thyself fair. Thy lovers will despise thee, they will seek thy life, man. Alright? You can sit here and put on that front, alright, like you're not being persecuted, like you're not just a nigger to them. Alright, you can put on the gold and the jewelry and the Louis Vuitton. Alright, you can drive the Maybach trucks and have these mansions with all these acres and fish ponds. All right, you can put on all this makeup, this Drewski makeup, the makeup of a harlot. All right, but these Edomites, the heathens are still coming after you, man. All right, you know. So that one said called. Well, hold on, it's the spirit. Hold on, let me put the phone is going on. I think this might have been the one. Should cross reference first. I think it was no one like Zephaniah or something. Another one. Right. This might be Lamentations. Let me see some more. Lamentations. Yes, yep. Come on, man. Lamentations 1 and 2. He said, how did a city sit solitary that was full of people? How would she become as a widow? She that was great among the nations and princess among the provinces, how she become tributary, man, right? Like we're reading at Jeremiah 51, man. We brought it low. We were the prize. We were the glory of the kingdoms, man, at one point. Now our land is occupied. It's just the occupation. It was occupied. Now occupied by heathen, man, by these Edomites, these small hatters. All right. And she weepeth sore in the night, and her tears are on her cheeks. Among all her lovers, she hath none to comfort her. All her friends have dealt treacherously with her. They are become her enemies, like we read at Jeremiah 2, man. All right. So all these things that you try to achieve here in America, all right, you're still a Negro, man. All right, you're still a slave, or a 1/5 of a man. You see, nobody's here to heal you. Nobody's here to give you your or to fight for you. Yeah, the other nations might acknowledge that the Israelites have been done wrong here. But they're not coming over here to help. They're not fighting no battles for us. They come to our neighborhoods and lick the swords. All right. Skip down. Verse 5, so her adversaries are the chief, her enemies proper, for the Lord hath afflicted her for the multitude of her transgressions. Her children are gone to captivity before their enemies, man. You know, and that's what happened to us, man. All right, we have been um, uh, 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 reprimanded, all right, for our transgressions and given over to the other nations, man. All right, Assyrian captivity, Babylonian captivity, all right, the transatlantic slave trade, okay, and from the daughter of Zion, all her beauty is departed. Her princes are become like harts that find no pasture, and they are gone without strength before the pursuer, man. You know, fleeing all these different ways, man. All right, being pilgrims, but not necessarily pilgrims being scattered around the earth, man. The Jerusalem remembered in the days of her affliction and her miseries all her pleasant things that she had in the days of old, when her people fell to the hand of the enemy and none did help her. The adversary saw her and did mock at her Sabbath, man. All right, it's just a daughter. All right, this is time. This is the time we have hope for, man. They're clapping their hands. They're saying, "Aha, aha." You see, we're a laughing stock. Although we are the most copied, all right, we're the most neglected too, man. Jerusalem grievously sinned, therefore she is removed. All that honored her despise her, because they have seen her nakedness. Yea, she sigheth and turneth backwards, man. Right? They know you quick to sell yourself out for a buck. You know they're quick. They know that you're quick to kill each other over a pair of shoes, a street, some Instagram pictures, man. Out here shaking your tail on camera for everybody, man. Walking around dining, dashing. You see, out here fighting in the streets. You see, Django a cat in front of Jacob. He gonna shuck and jive and sell his soul, man. Her filthiness is in her skirt. She remembered not her last end. Therefore she came down wonderfully. She had no comforter. O Lord, behold my affliction, for the enemy has magnified itself. Oh, you know, you can keep on reading, man, but for the sake of time, I'm a little short on time. All right, these are um the last times, man. This is the lowest that Israel has ever been. All right, when he about you outside coming, in his return, he's going to restore our beauty. All right, restore our right, our righteous place. All right, being the noble, being the apple of the Lord's eye once again, man. So the adversary has spread out his hand upon all her pleasant things, for she has seen that the heathen entered into a sanctuary, whom thou didst command that they should not enter into thy congregation, man. Right, man. You know how in the Maccabees they've done it, the Romans, sacking our temple, okay? You know, they're in our land, desecrating and profaning our land, man. All our people sigh, they seek bread, they have given their pleasant things for meat to relieve the soul. See, O Lord, and consider, for I am become vile, right, man? And are they gonna be coming again? You're gonna be trading away your jewelry and your gold just for a morsel of meat, man. All right. Is it nothing to you all, ye that pass by, and behold and see, if there be any sorrow like unto my sorrow, which is done unto me, whereas the Lord hath afflicted me in the days of a fierce anger. So who's been struggling like Israel, man? Nobody has a history of oppression or mistreatment, all right, like the 12 tribes, man. All right. So that one say call halal, Yabashim Yahshai. That one see Apostle in the elder grade millstone. It's in that time, Shalom, and the Bible ball.